On Asia Down Under today, a health special. We expose the myth that Asians are healthy, and we show you the steps to a long, happy life.
Okay, out to the side.
In the past, there was very little research available to back the notion that there was a growing health problem in the Asian communities of New Zealand. But recent research throws some light on uncomfortable facts. And in this program, we report on these, ask what's being done, and point the way to a better lifestyle. First, Glenna reports.
According to the Ministry of Health, Asian Kiwis live longer lives than the rest of the population and are therefore, on the average, healthier. But the Asian Health Chart released 3 years ago paints a picture that's not as perfect as it seems. Koshi De Silva believes there is more to health than just life expectancy.
I think it is important to recognize what are the key indicators or key measurements that we can compare with other populations. So if you look at prevalence data, that means how many people are getting heart attacks, how many people hospital admission data, then you see a huge spike, because these are the measurements that we can actually see how significant is the health issues for these population. So I think that's another thing that we are not doing in New Zealand, is actually recognizing how to measure the disease burden among Asians in New Zealand.
True enough, the Asian Health Chart reveals a glaring difference between the health status of the Chinese and Indian population, the country's largest Asian groups. So glaring, it seems they don't belong to the same group at all.
So you clumped all Asians together, then you mask the real issue that are pertinent to these different ethnic groups. So if you separate them as Indian and Chinese, who represent more than 70% of Asians in New Zealand, then you see the issues, come up, like particularly if you look at cardiovascular disease, diabetes. It's really a major issues for South Asians, and it is globally as well.
Similar findings were revealed in the just-released Waitemata District Health Board's Health Needs Assessment Study for their Asian population. Dr. Li Feng Zhao explains.
Indian people have a higher percentage of cardiovascular disease and diabetes. And also, if compared with Chinese people, you will find out the Indian population living in Waitemata DHB actually had worse health status, particularly death rate for CVD and diabetes.
So where heart disease is concerned, statistics don't look good for the Indian population. Genetics seems to be playing a part, but it's not the only reason.
And I think one of the things that happens is the food is good, the quality of the ingredients is good, we get double cream, So, and a sign of hospitality among our communities is that you have plenty of food. You never want to run out of food. So I suspect at some of our social events, we probably eat a bit more because we're in a social environment, we're having a good time.
But eating too much is not the only problem. Both the Asian Health Chart and the Waitemata studies reveal that changes in lifestyle are a big factor too.
When people migrate, they've come for a better life, and often they make a lot of sacrifices for that to happen. So they give up the balance that they might have had in their countries of origin, where they balance socialising with exercise, with working. Sometimes it can be all about work and trying to get ahead.
The environment itself, they don't feel safe because they are newcomers to this country, so they don't normally go for walks and, in the park and all, and send the children out because of the fear. So there are a lot of issues that are preventing them from being, doing healthy activities.
And if that isn't worrying enough, Asians often don't use the health services available to them. The reason is a problem understanding English.
And one of the things that we found out was that people don't know where services are. They don't know what the service is for. They don't know how to access the service.
They might have come here as professional in the social class 1, but then when they are unemployed, they move into social class 6. And it is a huge, demeaning thing to get the benefit. As a result, you will see they have high blood pressure, high glucose tolerance, and then mental health issues.
Put this all together and the conclusion is alarming. The phenomenon called healthy migrant effect basically says migrants are healthy when they first arrive in the country, but it tends to go downhill from there.